pancreas, insulin, diabetes, complications, diagnostic, trigger, tobacco, physical inactivity. This video answers 8 relevant questions and provides 7 concrete solutions to manage type 1 diabetes, cure type 2 diabetes, and prevent type 3 diabetes, but not only. Number 1. What is the role of the pancreas? This digestive and endocrine organ is located behind the stomach in the upper abdomen. Before you had diabetes, your pancreas produced just enough insulin to match the rise in your blood glucose or blood sugar with each meal and meet your needs between meals and overnight. Number 2. What is the role of insulin? Insulin is a hormone secreted by the pancreas that allows glucose sugar to enter cells for conversion into energy. In addition, it plays a major role in controlling carbohydrate metabolism by lowering blood sugar. Number 3. What triggers diabetes? Diabetes is triggered when a fragile pancreas is attacked by a diet too rich in invasive carbohydrates with a high glycemic index. Forced to regularly produce too much insulin, the pancreas eventually becomes exhausted and accepts higher than normal glucose levels. It only takes a very slight tolerance, the shift from 1 gram per liter of glucose to just 1 gram 26 per liter, to trigger diabetes. Number 4. How is diabetes diagnosed? The diagnosis is based on the constant presence of high levels of sugar in the blood and urine. Number 5. What are the different types of diabetes? There are 2 main types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, also called insulin-dependent diabetes, is the most severe form of diabetes. It is an autoimmune disease that occurs when the pancreas no longer produces any insulin or produces very little insulin. One of the symptoms of type 1 diabetes is sudden weight loss, hence the term thin diabetes. Children and adults with type 1 diabetes require insulin to survive. Either they inject the insulin with a needle and syringe or a pen just under the skin, or they use an insulin pump, a small electromechanical medical device designed specifically for delivering precise amounts of insulin into the body in the treatment of diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is by far the most common type, accounting for about 90% of cases. It occurs when the body does not make enough insulin or does not respond well to the insulin it makes. Type 2 diabetes, usually seen in adults, is increasingly striking overweight or obese children and adolescents, hence the term fatty or fat diabetes. Type 2 diabetics are on oral medications. This form of diabetes is mild and curable. Stay tuned to find out how to reverse this global epidemic. There are 2 other less common types of diabetes, one of which is gestational diabetes. Pregnant women who are overweight tend to suffer from maternal obesity and gestational diabetes, which occurs temporarily during pregnancy. They tend to deliver high birth weight babies. In this case, both mother and child are at greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes during their lifetime. Number 6. What are the complications of diabetes? Diabetes carries the constant threat of devastating complications such as kidney failure, blindness, amputation of the lower limbs, heart attack, brain stroke, and neurological damage. Speaking of neurological damage, diabetes in the brain may trigger Alzheimer's disease, now called type 3 diabetes. There are many similarities between the brains of people with diabetes and the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. New research techniques and brain imaging have revealed that the cognitive impairment in the Alzheimer brain is probably because the brain is in a diabetic state due to insulin resistance. Similar to diabetes, it is now acknowledged that the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease often do not use glucose properly. As a result, nerve cells starve and die, which drastically reduces the brain's ability to interpret messages. As a reminder, Alzheimer's disease is a degenerative disease which slowly and gradually destroys brain cells and affects memory, reasoning, judgment, and personality. Number 7. Tobacco and diabetes do not mix. Diabetes and tobacco use is a harmful combination. Number 8. Physical inactivity and diabetes. Physical inactivity worsens the complications associated with diabetes, and diabetes sufferers are particularly at risk for food problems. Yet you must not give way to panic, because I will bring you 7 practical and innovative solutions to prevent or manage type 1, 2, and 3 diabetes, and even to cure type 2 diabetes or obesity. And here we go! Number 1. Stand up from your chair at least every 2 hours, ideally every half hour, to stretch your legs because muscle contraction helps with the uptake of glucose into the muscle cells. Take a walk after each meal. Climb the stairs of your apartment or house, at work, or at the mall. Number 2. Reject cigarettes and adopt green tea. Indeed, L-theanine, a unique amino acid found almost exclusively in tea, helps to counteract the effects of cortisol, the stress hormone, by providing a feeling of calm and relaxation, which reduces the cravings to smoke that can be difficult to overcome during nicotine withdrawal. Furthermore, green tea has a draining action and helps control blood sugar levels. Number 3. Replace white sugar with sweeteners. It goes without saying that diabetics and people who do not want to become diabetics should avoid sugary or alcoholic beverages and be careful not to add sugar to their cup of tea or coffee. They can nevertheless sweeten their drinks with a natural sweetener like stevia, a plant native to South America, whose glycemic index is 0, while the sweetening power is up to 300 times greater than that of table sugar or white sugar, also called sucrose, with a glycemic index of 70. Number 4. Rely on cinnamon. Use Solon cinnamon, known as true cinnamon, not to be confused with cassia cinnamon. The latter is potentially toxic to the liver because of its high coumarin content. Long-term ingestion of large amounts of coumarin may damage the liver. On the other hand, Ceylon cinnamon hardly contains any coumarin, only traces, and consequently do not pose any health risk. Moreover, it has a milder and sweeter taste. Not only does cinnamon have a naturally sweet flavor, but it also has many virtues, including that of increasing insulin sensitivity, which can lower blood glucose or blood sugar levels. Thus, cinnamon exerts a powerful anti-diabetic effect. A little cinnamon goes a long way. Too much may cause your blood sugar to fall too low, especially if you are taking diabetes medication. Using cinnamon sparingly can even have beneficial effects on neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's disease caused by loss of neurons. Cinnamon may help to stave off Alzheimer's disease, that is to say type 3 diabetes, by inhibiting tau protein aggregation. Tau, tubulin-associated unit, is a protein inside nerve cells or neurons that is critical to the movement of essential substances up and down nerve fibers. Tau protein ensures the stability of neurons, but in Alzheimer's disease, this protein becomes chemically altered and piles up as thread-like tangles, impairing tau's key roles in nerve cells, wreaking havoc on brain cell communication. Number 5. Consume very low glycemic index carbohydrates, which lead to very low blood sugar and insulin responses. Number 6. Follow the classic Dukan diet method. The first 2 phases of the classic method of the Dukan diet are ketogenic and make it possible to cure obesity and type 2 diabetes. Yes, I did say cured, thanks to the classic strong and fast method in 4 phases, the last 2 phases of which allow you to maintain your healthy weight for life. From the first phase, you start to lose weight, better control your blood sugar to the point of reducing your medication and then stopping it completely. Visit your doctor or healthcare professionals for regular checks on your progress and dose adjustments of your diabetes treatment until the regression of this disease. Until this disease of civilization, lifestyle related, is cured. Number 7. Take inspiration from the Dukan diet. It is not recommended for type 1 diabetics and pregnant or breastfeeding women to strictly follow the diet. However, they can be inspired by it to clearly distinguish their friends, foods that wish them well, from their enemies, foods that wish them ill.